Have you ever had one of those quiet mornings where you sit by the window with your cup of tea, and you think, why does everything feel heavier now? Not just my body, but my mind too. Maybe it's a little tension in your shoulders that never quite goes away, or thoughts that keep you awake longer than they used to. You've lived through so much ups and downs, joy and sorrow, wins and lessons. And now, more than ever, peace feels like the most valuable thing in the world. Not just peace and quiet, but real, deep, lasting peace. And here's the thing, sometimes the only thing standing between you and that peace is you. Or more specifically, a few habits that have hung around far too long. That's what we're talking about today. Because by the time you reach your 70s, life has given you all the clues you need. The trick is learning how to listen to them. In this video, we're going to talk about 3 habits that, if you're still holding on to them, might just be quietly stealing your joy, your calm, and your energy. Letting go of these habits doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you're finally giving yourself permission to live on your own terms. So let's settle in together. Take a deep breath. You're not here to be scolded, you've had enough of that in life. You're here to be reminded that it's okay to make space for peace. You deserve that. Truly. Let's start with the first habit. It's one that sneaks up on all of us, and that's holding on to resentment. You know that feeling, when someone said something years ago, or maybe they didn't say what you needed to hear. And the memory of that moment still lives somewhere in you, tucked behind your smile. Maybe you don't think about it all the time, but when something reminds you of it, your chest tightens just a little. That's resentment's quiet grip. The problem is, resentment doesn't punish the person who hurt you. It punishes you. It's like drinking a cup of poison every day, hoping the other person will get sick. And over time, it wears down your spirit, one silent drop at a time. Now, forgiveness doesn't mean pretending like it didn't happen. It means you've decided not to carry the weight of it anymore. It's like setting down a heavy bag you've been dragging behind you for years. Doesn't that sound freeing? Imagine how much lighter your step could be if you didn't have to keep looking back. Start small if you need to. You don't have to forgive everything or everyone in a single day. But maybe today is the day you decide to let go of one story. Just one. Because every time you release one old wound, you make space for something softer, something kinder to grow. Alright, let's talk about the second habit, and this one might surprise you. It's always needing to be right. Now don't get me wrong, we all like being right. It feels good. But have you ever noticed how often being right costs us peace? Maybe it's a disagreement with your partner, or a conversation with your adult children, or even something as small as the way a neighbor trims their hedge. You tell yourself, well, I know how it should be done. And maybe you do. But ask yourself this, would I rather be right, or would I rather be calm? Being right might win you the argument, but it often loses the moment. The laughter, the warmth, the connection, it all disappears when the goal becomes proving a point instead of protecting the relationship. And you've probably learned by now, people rarely change because someone lectured them into it. They change because someone gave them the space to come around on their own. You don't have to agree with everything. But when you choose kindness over correctness, you're not giving in, you're stepping up. I knew someone once, a lovely older gentleman named Carl. He used to say, at 70, I realized I could either be a know-it-all or be someone people actually wanted to be around. That stuck with me. Because what good is being right if you're sitting alone? Sometimes, peace is found in the pause, the moment you decide not to make that comment, not to correct that story, even if the facts are a little off. It's okay to let the small stuff go. After all, not every hill is worth the hike. Now that we've taken a closer look at resentment and the need to always be right, let's keep going. There's one more habit to talk about. One more thing that, when released, can open the door to the peace you've been craving. Can open the door to the peace you've been craving? That third habit, the one that's been quietly following many of us for years, is worrying about what others think. Oh, this one is a big one. It starts early in life, when we're young and just want to fit in. And somehow, it follows us through the decades like a shadow. We dress a certain way, speak a certain way, even make life decisions, not always for ourselves, but for how we'll be seen. But here's the truth, at 70, you've earned your freedom. And it's time to ask yourself, whose opinion am I still living for? Because chances are, the people whose approval you're chasing aren't even paying that much attention. And even if they are, they're probably too caught up in their own lives to notice the things you're worrying about. You've got nothing to prove anymore. You've raised families, built careers, overcome illness, made mistakes, learned, grown, and loved. You've lived. That's more than enough. You don't need to shrink yourself to keep others comfortable. You don't have to keep explaining your choices. You don't need to apologize for taking up space in the world, exactly as you are. I remember speaking with a woman named Teresa not long ago. She was 74 and had just started wearing these big, bright scarves, colors she'd never dared to wear in her 40s. I asked her what changed, and she said, "One day I realized I might only have 20 more summers. Why waste one more of them worrying about what someone in the grocery store thinks of my outfit?" And just like that, she gave herself permission to live out loud. That's what happens when we stop carrying the weight of everyone else's opinions. We become Morris, the version we were always meant to be before the world told us to dim our light. And look, I know it's not always easy. We're social creatures. We want to be liked, respected. But the right people will love you for exactly who you are. And the ones who don't, they're not your people. And that's okay. Because your peace matters more than their approval. Now, take a moment and imagine your life without those 3 habits. No more holding on to resentment, no more needing to be right, and no more second-guessing yourself based on what others might think. Imagine waking up and feeling light, not just in your body, but in your heart. Imagine walking into a room and not caring who's watching because you're finally just being you. That kind of peace isn't something you stumble into. It's something you choose, moment by moment, day by day. It's the reward for letting go of what no longer serves you. And what a beautiful reward it is. But we're not done yet. Because now that we've cleared out some of the things that steal your peace, it's time to talk about what you can build in its place. After all, letting go creates space, but it's what you fill that space with that truly makes life meaningful. So let's keep going. There's more to explore, more to uncover, and more ways to invite peace into this incredible chapter of your life. More ways to invite peace into this incredible chapter of your life. Because here's something not enough people say out loud: the later years of life aren't just about slowing down. They're about deepening. About finally having the time and the wisdom to do things that feel good to your soul. And once you've cleared out the noise of resentment, the pressure of being right, and the fear of what others think, what you're left with is this incredible opportunity to live more intentionally than ever before. So, let's talk about what you can bring in. And really, the first thing is so simple you might almost miss it: presence. Just being where your feet are. Not stuck in the past, not worried about the future, just here. Right now. It's easy to underestimate how powerful that is. You're sitting on the porch, the breeze is soft, there's a bird singing nearby. You can smell the jasmine blooming down the street. These moments, so quiet, so ordinary, are actually the very heart of peace. And when you stop rushing, stop reaching, and just let yourself be, something shifts. You're no longer surviving your day, you're living it. That's something younger people don't always understand yet. They're still chasing, still proving. But you've earned the right to just sit still and know that it's enough. Another beautiful thing you can start doing more of is choosing your company wisely. This one isn't about cutting people off or judging others, it's about being intentional with your time and energy. If someone always leaves you feeling drained, tense, or small, it's okay to create a little distance. You're not obligated to carry everyone with you. You can love people and still protect your peace. Surround yourself with those who lift you up, who see you clearly, who bring laughter to your belly and warmth to your days. Even 1 or 2 people like that can make all the difference. And if you don't have them yet, it's never too late. Truly. Some of the most meaningful friendships begin later in life, when we're finally honest about what we need and open to giving the same in return. And one more thing, joy. Don't forget joy. Sometimes we get so caught up in health checkups and responsibilities that we forget we're allowed to have fun. You don't need a big reason or a special event. Dance in your kitchen. Sing to the radio. Plant something just to see it bloom. Write that poem. Learn something new just because it sparks your curiosity. Let yourself laugh until your cheeks hurt. You are not too old. You are just getting to the part of the story where you get to write the chapters with full creative control. Peace doesn't mean a life without noise or problems. It means you aren't ruled by them anymore. It means your mornings begin with intention, your relationships are built on truth and compassion, and your days feel lighter, not because everything's perfect, but because you've let go of carrying what was never yours to begin with. Take a second to breathe that in. Really breathe. You've come a long way to get here. You've earned every wrinkle, every lesson, every inch of your journey. And now you're standing at a beautiful crossroad where you can say, I don't need to keep doing things the old way. I'm allowed to do it differently now. If anything we've talked about today has stirred something in you, even just a little, let it grow. Let that tiny spark become a small change, then a bigger one. Maybe you decide to finally forgive someone, even if they never apologize. Maybe you let your partner win the next argument and just smile, knowing it's not worth your peace. Maybe you put on that bold scarf like Teresa and walk through your day with your head held high. Whatever it looks like for you, just know this, you are not alone. There are so many of us choosing peace over perfection. Choosing freedom over old patterns. And choosing joy, not because life has always been easy, but because we finally realize it doesn't have to be hard. So tell me, what are you ready to let go of? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. What habit have you left behind that brought more peace into your life? Or what's one thing you're ready to release after watching this? If this message spoke to you, go ahead and hit that like button. It helps more people find their way to this kind of content. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so we can keep having these heart-to-heart moments together. Life doesn't end at 70, it begins again, with a little more wisdom and a lot more freedom. Here's to living your best life, at any age, on your own terms, and with peace as your constant companion.